Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to the channel. I'm Tez the Hero. But of course you already knew that. Why would you be here otherwise? And this is your first time, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, because me and my brother Big B, we drop a lot of videos on a variety of subjects. And be a dear and smash that like. It really does help out the channel. And if there are any videos that you would like to see us do in the future, just comment them down below. And also, while you're at it, comment about what we're about to talk about today, which is Superman and Lois. So, jumping right in, episode 3, Lois basically shares the news with her family, and it was really heartfelt. Everybody's sad, obviously. You know, stage 3 inflammatory breast cancer is nothing to scoff at. So, I think it really touched me the most about her telling everybody is a reaction from her dad. You know, this 4-star, general trying to be tough, but his little girl is sick, and you can see the pain in his face. So I think they did a really good job of capturing that. So after she basically breaks down and tell everybody, she decides to give Chrissy some of her workload so that way she could focus on getting treatment. And they signed up so she could start her chemo and everything. And Natalie, as a good gesture and a sign to show her that she's not alone, decides that she's going to give her a watch that she made for her mom, which John Henry is completely against, but Natalie is determined to do it anyway. While dropping off Candace, her dad and Jonathan have a conversation about his truck, and then the next day while they're at school, his truck gets stolen. So Jonathan asks Candace, and of course she sticks up for his dad, and she storms off mad, saying, "Can't believe you don't believe me." So Jonathan, Jordan, and Natalie decide that they're going to find the truck themselves, and so they locate the truck. It's in a chop shop of sorts, and Natalie devises a plan where she uses smoke bombs to go in unseen, and they basically get the truck back. So then Lana and Sarah, they're having a conversation, and they wind up getting into it, and Lana hauls off and smacks the hell out of Sarah. And she instantly regrets it afterwards, but the damage has already been done. It's too late. And then you see General Lane talking to Superman, and he's informing him that the blood that's been getting used basically by Bruno Mannheim as is Superman's, and they don't know how they got it, but it's been going around basically. Lois and Clark are at the facility so she can get treatment, and Superman's get called off to deal with a catastrophe. And Lois, basically, the nerves get to her, and she leaves, and she winds up following or meeting up with Chrissy, who's chasing down a Bruno Mannheim lead, and Chrissy's furious, but it is what it is. So they wind up getting trapped in a freezer with the blood that's hanging around. And they can't call Superman, it's airtight, nobody can hear, but they hear people out there. Meanwhile, Clark's back at the hospital looking for his wife, and they informed her that she left. So he's not too happy. So basically, Lois and Chrissy, the people that they hear outside, they open up the door, and Lois gives herself up, and Chrissy uses the ELT to basically call Superman, and here he comes and does Superman things and gets him, but he was furious about what was going on. So, and I mean, that was basically, okay, so, and then, it basically ends with Natalie and John reconciling and talking about the whole watch fiasco. Candace finds the watch in the truck. Well, Candace finds the watch in the house and gives it back to Jonathan and realizes that he was right all along. She apologizes. They smooth things over. And basically, it goes off with them making sure that Lois goes to her appointment, basically. They all ganged up on her, basically. Now, episode 4 is where things get really interesting. Jordan and Superman basically are trying to put out a fire, and Clark hears Lois going through the motions, so he leaves Jordan to take care of it and flies off. Well, in the midst of all of that, I guess satellite footage was taken that General Lane had recovered to show Jordan the dangers of being out there all willy-nilly with no, disguise on, basically. So he takes him to try and get a haircut. Well, Jordan's not having any of this, and he says some really mean things and, hurtful things. And he basically is like, I'm gonna talk to my parents about this. So Jonathan goes to Candace's house to try and see her, and her dad answers the door, and they exchange a couple words about the truck, and the dad winds up hitting Jonathan, gives him a little shiner underneath the eye. So he goes home, and Lois is there. Clark then told the boys not to bother her, but she doesn't want to feel like they're excluding her, so she forces them to tell her what's going on. Jordan tells what happened. She goes over there to confront the dad. The dad basically pulls a gun on her, but they go their separate ways after she said her piece. Well, she tells Clark what happens, and he goes out looking for old boy, finds him at the diner, and they exchange words, and he basically puts him in a headlock on the table, slams his head on the table, and basically told him off, and kind of scared him a little bit. And you see in the background Sarah and Lana and Kyle, because Kyle's talking to Sarah, trying to get her and her mother to reconcile and everything, which they do, but Sarah's still kind of standoffish, even though you can tell that Lana really is apologetic and feels bad about it. They take Superman to the DOD, Sam Lane and General Hardcastle, and they show them the vials of blood that they have, and they talk about how they don't know how it got in the wrong hands, and Superman winds up destroying it. Period, point blank. Which, I mean, I would have did the same thing, me personally. So John Henry also finds out that Lois is investigating Bruno Mannheim, which allegedly killed the John Henry Irons of this earth. So he decides to talk to John Henry's sister, Darlene, and she basically confirms that the John Henry of this earth was selling weapons to Bruno Mannheim, that he confessed and everything, and that Bruno Mannheim basically killed him. So after they say they peace, Bruno Mannheim's people pull up. John Henry gets in the car with him. They go. He's face to face with Mannheim, and they're talking about basically how Steel has been helping Superman, and he recognized the tech, this, that, and the third. So he basically wanted him to disappear, stay out of his business, this, that, and third. Well, he had strapped Darlene with a explosive in the back of a van. So after John escapes Mannheim, he rushes off to get Darlene, and he saves her, and that's the end of that. But it's really good to see the interaction of Bruno Mannheim and John Irons. I like the fact that, yeah, he's been there since the beginning and everything, but they're actually pulling him back into the main story of the season. So I really like that. So after the confrontation with Candace's dad and everything, Candace goes to the house to talk to Jonathan, and Lois extends for her to stay with them. So I'm really curious to see how that's gonna go. I never would have thought that would happen. But it basically ends with Lois concocting a plan to infiltrate Bruno Mannheim's facility in Hogs Bay, so she can get a little bit more information, and she can also get a little bit more closer to him. So it's really interesting to see how everything's about to play out with this whole storyline. And I like the fact that it has a story inside of a story inside of a story, because everybody has different things going on, but yet it all culminates at one point or another. So that's really good. So I'm definitely curious to see what your thoughts are on episodes 3 and 4 of Superman and Lois. And if you haven't seen them, then definitely check them out. You can watch them for free on the CW app. Not sponsored, but please watch it, because it is a very, very good show. And I mean, it's basically the end of the Arrowverse. Flash will be going off here in a couple more weeks, so we have Superman and Lois to hold on to our. So anyway, thank y'all for stopping by today. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, so that way we can continue to bring you the content that you really enjoy. And also check out my brother's Mandalorian series. That show is getting really good, and you don't want to miss any episodes. Definitely check it out. So, once again, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.